Tell the class, who are the Afghan people? Tell us about you know the Afghan people. You've worked with Afghans. You really know as well as probably way better than the vast majority of Americans. And the vast majority of Americans just know there's people over there that are fighting. Before we bring Rafi up, tell us about what have you learned about the Afghan people and Afghan culture?
So, from my perspective and my interaction, I constantly heard before I went to Afghanistan the first time, it's a culture and a society that's been at war for 1,000 years, and that's all they know is war. And that's, they don't have any other thing to base their reference off of other than that they've been at war for a long time. And truly, it is a society that has had conflict, but the vast majority of Afghan people are people just like us in the United States, and I suspect most other countries. They have children, and they have jobs, and they have aspirations, and they have hopes, and they don't want to be at war. They would like to be at peace, and they would like to have the same things for their families that we want for our families. And they, most of them get up in the morning, and they go do some form of work to try to raise money, to raise their family, to provide for their family. And they come home at the end of the day, and they share a meal as a family, and they go to sleep. And I know that's making it very simplistic, but it's not a country that everyone walks around with a weapon, constantly trying to pick a fight or get into a conflict with other one. I found the Afghan people very accepting. If you walk into a town in America, nobody comes out and says, "Hey, come on in. I have no idea who you are. I've never seen you before, but would you like to come to my house and have a cup of tea with me?" Right? So when I first went to Afghanistan, and we would go into a village, and the village elder would come out, the guy, the oldest guy, or the guy who was in charge of that village, their representative, and he'd say, "Hey, come to my house and have tea." Having not really learned a lot about the culture before, I was like, "Oh, this is a trick of some sort. Like, what's he going to put in my tea? Why would I do this?" All right, but you spend time there, you learn about the culture, you come to appreciate those things, and you come to understand when that's not offered or what those variations are in those cultural norms. But I was just talking to Rafi a minute ago on how much I miss the Afghan food, and I've been trying to get my wife to take on some Afghan cooking, which has been quite an experiment, and he's trying to tell me where I can get some Afghan food stateside. But it's just a great culture that over my 3 or 4 years there that I've spent, that I've really come to appreciate in a lot of regards, enjoy the people and the culture, and I do miss some of it, even though I'm back in the States, and I miss some of the things that I was able to do there that I can't do here.
Yeah, that's really the one word that I hear again, and I've experienced again, is generosity. So you touched it, about it, wanting tea and just being so, oh my gosh, just constantly giving and wanting to show generosity and friendship and so on. That's been certainly my experience. Yeah. Okay, thanks. We're just going to make this a kind of a tag team.